Hello everyone. I think what I'm going to try to be doing today is taking this project and seeing if I can make it work in Express. So I have my Express project from a new tutorial pulled up right here. And actually what I think I'll do is I will duplicate this. Did that do it? Copy project path. Why not just do this? That's what we'll do. Okay. Oh man, how do you do this? npm init, I think. Name Meteor Express. No longer contain. What did I name my other ones? So what was this? Trav notes? We'll call this M notes. How about that? Are you kidding me? Can I do that? I guess so. Version 1, description. I have caps in my description. Translating Meteor Node app into Express. JS. Sure, that sounds good. Test. Sure. Why am I getting an error? Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, and so the reason I'm doing this is just to kind of see how similar Meteor and Express are. So I'm supposed to be learning Express, but I gave Meteor a shot and I really liked it. It was very nice. I don't want to forget Express. I want to kind of keep them both fresh in my mind. We will do that. Oh, how about sudo? Hold on. Get rid of this. Yeah, it's a root now. Yeah, we'll do that. Sudo gedit package. Let's go to we learned this in our Express tutorial. You can add your dependencies just like this. And we can do Express, any version. I don't know of anything else I need at the moment. So Express tutorial I did. Why don't I just do this so it's not confusing for now? Express tutorial I did, we used body parser and path. I'm not sure if those did anything though. I don't really know what they did. The only thing I know for sure is I know what EJS is, and that was our template engine. That's what allowed us to create these views. Like that. Or yeah, here's one of the views I made. So to express test and let query equal request query. Which file is that on? Oh, index.js. Okay. Block scoped declarations. So maybe that's not allowed. Are you kidding me? Alright, so now that this is imperative now that I do this. So sudo ch. They are all set to root. Own mm on, hold on a minute. So recursive, going to capital R and V. Sudo ch, you know, let's not do that. Capital R, V on express. Oops. Express test, as well as Meteor Express, as well as we'll do the Meteor test. Cool. Now can I save? Ha! And now will you work? Oops. So go to Express. No. And we will type node.js index throw error. Cannot find module. Oh, okay, I see. Node.js. Is it working? Oh, I'm sorry, I went to the wrong one. Let query equals required query. I don't get it. Why am I not allowed to do that? how do I activate strict mode then? Is it just like regular JavaScript? I think that's how you do strict mode. Unhandled error event. Is this really how? I feel like I'm doing this wrong. I wish I wrote down notes for Express. Let's just open up Express then. Oh, I don't need Express. I need Node.js. Starting Node.js server. Well, maybe Express has that. No, because it's regular Node. Starting Node.js server. Maybe I need to switch the port. I don't remember if they're the same. Yeah, they are the same. Let's do 7,000. Okay. Yeah, that was a problem. Good start. Okay. So now I can show off the file. Abram, reference error, queries not defined. I guess I can still have that now. I don't understand. Query set, query, otherwise empty object. So now I gotta do that, restart the server. Okay, good. So it was the stupid port. That's what was keeping me from doing that. So do I still need this? That's the question I have. Yep. Okay, so that is, I thought that's how you do strict mode. Now, okay. So I have this file set up. This is where I learned how to use the query function instead of the parameters, which I already made a video on. Tetra equals osmosis Jones and father of equals Bartholomew father. So the idea was I just wanted to create this paragraph to send in two values to practice. So now let's add our new project folder, which is going to be in var www.html Meteor Express. I guess it won't go right to it, huh? var www.html Meteor Express. And let's Can we open a new window? And copy full path. Add project folder using the full path. Good. Now we have this open. So we have our dependencies now. I think all we really need is Express. Yeah, save them. Now we can do our npm install. We don't need sudo anymore. And that's going to install all of our dependencies. We can close this. And I wonder if I'm missing something. What does Express say? Getting started. Init entry point. Yeah, I set that. Oh, I see. No, I did that in the dependencies. So it should be set. Yep, I did that. In the my app directory, create a file named app.js and copy in the code from the example above. Okay, so it doesn't really do all of this for you. Can I refresh? Tree refresh. Nope. Alright, let's just tree view. Add file. Index.js. Now, what is our, we need to require Express and set it to, and that's right, constant Express equals require single quotes Express. Constant app equals Express, and we're creating an instance of Express. Good. I know right off the bat we can do stuff like app.route, and we can, I'm going to use double quotes. That's just me. Okay? So I'm going to stick to that. I know the style guides say to stick, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to route. I think you pass in a function here. Oops. And our route will be start. Let's just do this actually. And we do result render hello. Oh, I'm sorry. App listen, right? On 3001. What else did we need to do? When we listen on function console log, we don't need that. Server started. Oops, how'd that happen? What's wrong with me? Okay. Throw error, unhandled error event. Oh, I gotta add my strict mode, right? Maybe I should just keep reading this. What does it say? App get, app listen, send. Maybe I should start with send. I do prefer using the routes. Though. App get, hello. I think you pass in an object. No, you don't. At least not with send. That looks good. That's weird because I don't need a version number on the other one. Okay, app.listen function. What am I missing? Maybe I should just make a 7,000, like I did before. Oh, was that it? 3,001's bad. 7,000 is okay though. Okay. My bad. Now what? Now let's create our views folder. Add folder. One of the things I don't understand is in our tutorial we made a client folder, and Traversy, I did his tutorial, the Traversy media. We discussed how our client folder was everything that would be viewed. Meteor kind of handled everything automatically, meaning our client folder, the main.js file, pulled in our main, we imported it here, but we did not have to. It was kind of like all the main files were our defaults, so we didn't actually have to include this or this for the page to load. And Express doesn't really do that for you. So we have our main controller here, and we create our views, and it does that stuff from there. So how are we going to get started then? We are going to create our navigation bar, I suppose. New file. I don't like that. Tree add file. Views. I wonder if I should just make components. Now let's just start with a simple page. Notes. And what should I name it? I'll just stick with EJS for now, because I know it. I know EJS. And I like it. Yeah, EJS was pretty cool. npm install, give me my EJS. And now, what do I have to do? I have to go to app set. I have to do that twice, I think. View engine, EJS. Let's look up what app.set does. API reference. I wish they had a search. App.set. No, that's skipping ahead. Here it is. App.set. So the tutorial I did not really explain anything, and that's why I'm trying to record myself more. I know this was a slow start, just kind of me fubbing around, stumbling. But hey, I learned that, okay, I was trying to start it on the wrong port, right? I also learned using strict mode explicitly in my other project helped a lot if I want to use block scoped variables, apparently. I also learned you don't need the body parser, and learned how to use get and send. That was a good reminder. I only did this once before. So now let's take a look at what app.set does. This is not this one. This is how we used it in the tutorial project. So we set our view engine and EJS, then we used our path package to set views, and we set a view key to the path with the directory name views. I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of views showing up. Oh, I duplicated this too. I forgot to delete that. And then we are using app.use body parser JSON, body parser URL encoded. We are then using again. So I have to find out what use does. And we do express static, path join, directory name client that time. That's what we did first, and then we imported our EJS template engine when we did some more complicated stuff, or when we moved on from the simple test page. And then we did a get about, we did some rendering. So what this does is when we set our, at first we did a client folder. Do I have that here? Yeah, at first we had a client folder, but then we moved on to views. And so when we set our view to the view folder, when we get and render, this is setting the router to watch for this in the URL. But the render, when we do about here, is grabbing the about EJS file, because we're using our view engine EJS, and it grabs that, and we can bind our values to it in an object. So this is automatically searching the views folder. So later on, instead of using get, I decided to use route, because it helped me understood what I was actually doing. I was setting my router here, and then I would use the get method on that, and then I would render the file. Yep, so it makes sense when you understand you're setting your router here, then you're getting the file, and you're rendering the result file. You're rendering it with these properties, and this is the file you're getting. So app.set assigns setting name to value. Yep. You may store any value that you want, but certain names can be used to configure the behavior of the server. These special names are listed in the app settings table. Calling app set foo to true for a Boolean property is the same as calling app enables foo. Similarly, calling app.set foo false equals disable. You didn't need to repeat that. Retrieve the value of a setting with app.get So that's awesome, because now let me go back to, I glossed over this, but now I can explain that. So if you didn't pick it up when I was going over this, it didn't quite make sense. I said we're setting our router with this method, we're setting our router to listen for this. When this is seen in the URL, this whole section is going to start to activate. It's almost like an event. And we're then going to run our get function, and we don't need to pass in because this is our router. So we're just going to get, right? But then you can see we're not calling any file until here in this method. So what's happening is our result property is the result file, right? Because get is used to retrieve a file and information from a file. So what is it getting without us indicating that up here? Well, what it's getting is it's getting our views here, which is we're storing, as we read, you can retrieve the value of a setting. We're setting a view setting here with app.get, right? So, and that view setting is being set to a path of our directory and views. So we have our directory path here. You can see the whole path here, and it's joining the two together. I don't know how that works. It's probably just adding these two values together. It's like a string concatenation. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like you do first name space concat last name. That's a string method you can do in JavaScript. So it's just doing that. So it's actually setting our path to the views folder. And then, so what get seems to be doing is getting our entire folder. And we don't know how that works. That's if you only know JavaScript, I don't know how that works. You'd have to know how a server works, because it can grab folder directories. And so what get is doing then is getting our entire folder directory. And what we're doing when we do render is we're using the render method on our result, again, which is our entire folder, and we're targeting our index file, right? So we're rendering this file of our result from get, which is our folder, and we're rendering index with the properties we pass to it. So now we understand what we're actually doing, and that's important. The tutorial I watched didn't go over that. I just followed along. It was cool. Hey, look, I can display stuff. I can add values and properties. I love to know what it's actually doing. So basically what it's doing, it's setting super globals you can use later on, or setting top tier scoped variables that you can use within the app class or the app object. You see that? It gives an example right there. Bad cat, don't walk in front of me. What else does it have to say? Application settings. Oh, this is what I was talking about. The following table lists application settings. Will not inherit settings that have a default value. Yeah. I wonder if we used any of these in the tutorial. Oh, view engine. Oh, see that? I'm ecstatic now. See, I love knowing what it's actually doing. In the Traverse C tutorial, Traversy's media tutorial for Meteor.js was really good, really helpful. He says at one point it's like magic, and I don't like code to be like a magic trick. I like to actually know how it works. It's kind of scary if you think it's magic. View engine. So this is our app setting. This is actually, what you can say an app setting is what Express is expecting to use. So this is kind of like a reserved keyword as far as Express is concerned. You know, Express is going to use this if you set it. So hey, if you want to use View Engine on your own, that would just be a coincidence. I'm sure you could. Just try not to conflict with the Express or Node, because it wants to use this too. The default engine extension to use when omitted. I will inherit this. Cool. I just wanted to know what that word does. So that's an app setting. That's an official app setting when you do that. So app.set is just setting key value pairs, name value pairs that you can use later on with the get method. So get is not our get HTTP method, I guess, in the same sense of regular JavaScript. But as far as the app is concerned, apps being, well, Meteor describes it as data on the wire. So they kind of, I don't know what they mean by that. When they say data on the wire, is they kind of think of the app architecture as not a collection of HTTP requests and individual files, but subscription services. So you create services and classes and components independently, and by building your subscription services like this, we included this in the Meteor test. We just included our accounts UI and accounts password. We included the template file right here, and this all showed up on its own. We did not have to write any of this HTML or JavaScript. This button worked on its own. So it's kind of like just a subscription service to that. If we log in, we're not really doing anything special, but we're using the Mongo collections and just pulling our data from there. And the materialized package could be another subscription service. This modal all worked on its own, really. We just included the trigger button, and it targets itself and displays. You could do this with regular JavaScript. This isn't magic. It's nothing special. I don't mean to keep pointing out magic either. I just wanted to spell that you can do all this yourself. It's nothing special. It's just that it all works together. So that's cool. What else does it say? I think that's all it says. Options for the trust proxy. Options for the E tag. App.use. Good, so we just want to know what app.use does now. The use method. Mounts the specified middleware function or functions at the specified path. The middleware function is executed when the base of the requested path matches path. Should that be above there then? Okay, so path, callback, callback. I don't see how that lines up with the body parser methods being the first parameter passed in. Express static. I don't get that. Should I look it up? A route will match any path that follows its path immediately with a /. For example, app.use/Apple will match /Apple or Apple Images or Apple Images News, and so on. Oh, really? Oh, that's right. I wanna test that a little bit. Start. That's why I wanted to do start. I have to reload the server now. Okay, start. Does it have to be uppercase? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Start again. Okay. I think it just means in the order of inheritance. It starts here, and then you can add on to it from there. We'll match that and that. Since path defaults to that, middleware mounted without a path will be executed for every request to the app. Will be executed for every request to the app. Right. Middleware functions are executed sequentially, therefore the order of middleware inclusion is important. This middleware will not allow the request to go beyond it. Requests will never reach this route. I think I saw that used. Because we're using this. Okay, so if we go to about, it should render our about page here. I think. But only if we have it in the client folder. Now, if we move this to our, I think I can click and drag. Let me reload the server now. Alright, hold on. Maybe it shouldn't be EJS. Maybe that's the problem. It's not expecting any parameters sent through it. Maybe I'll just do send. App.get express static client. Move this down here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. No wonder. Okay. Okay, let's do this right. Node.js index. Okay. Good. About. Okay, now. About. Okay, see, I changed it. Let's fix that. Now, this should work. Error failed to look up the view about in the views directory. Aha. I understand your pain. If we get rid of that, then what? Because I feel like it's overriding that static path we set. And I want to fix that. And I don't remember if we set a default engine before that. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know why we did use the way we did. And then we did express static path directory name. That doesn't seem proper. And what would the default view engine be? Response. Maybe it's in response. This is only showing us method. Maybe a guide? Using templating engines? Yeah. Template engine enables you to use static template files in your application. At runtime, yeah, I know that. But what's the syntax? What's the default syntax? The Express application generator uses Jade as its default. And what does Jade look like? Oops. Looks like, I guess it's not going to include it there. Okay, that's what I saw in the example. So, does the file extension, I guess it should be JS. Let's just go with that. And we'll do H1. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did something similar to this. Okay. Do we need to type Jade there? What will this do? Body. Okay, so we don't. Hello from Jade. And let's see if that works. I'm really curious. No, it won't work because we need to fix this now. I'm probably breaking this project now. Yes. No, it should work because, yeah, let's give it a shot. Yeah, about is not working. Render about, indeed, not working. What should the default file name be? I don't think it really matters. Maybe I don't need that. I just want to understand why we initially did that. Does it say how to write them? Pug Jade. Oh, that's the application generator. Oh, it's been renamed to Pug. You can continue to use Jade in your app and it will work just fine. However, app created by the generator. Directory where the template files are located, e.g. app set views. This defaults to views directory in the application. Directory view engine, the template engines to use. For example, to use the pug template engine app.set view engine pug. Then install it. Yes, we need to install it. As j2r export function named express file, which is called by render. Oh, you see? Express compliant template engines such as Jade and Pug export a function named __ express file path options callback, which is called by the result render function to render the template code. Some template engines do not follow this convention. Uh-oh. After the view engine is set, you don't have to specify the engine or load the template engine module again. Express loads the module internally as shown below. Pug it is. So even though it says it's the default, I think you still have to set it. And you also do have to set your path settings. So I think this was all necessary. This was absolute nonsense from what I understand. Let me just search that. Express static path. This seems like nonsense. Serving static files in Express. To serve static files such as images, CSS files, or JavaScript files, built-in middleware function. The function signature is root options. The root argument specifies the root directory from which to serve static assets. Did we do that? We only passed in one parameter. Oh no, I'm sorry, we did two. The root and then client. Yes. Now you can load the files that are in the public directory. Static public. Oh, I see. Express looks up the files relative to the static directory, so the name of the static directory is not part of the URL. Unless you do this. Unless you set your root. It's not part of the URL. It's not part of the URL. It's not part of your router. Indeed. App.use express static public and files. So you do, it looks like you need to add them one at a time if you want those separate directories. Express looks up the files in the order in which you set the static directories. For best results, use a reverse. To create a I'm ignoring more complicated stuff till we understand the basics. To create a virtual path prefix where the path does not actually exist. Specify a mount path. I don't think we did that. Now you can load the files that are in the public directory from the static prefix. Okay. Did I already go over what use does? Let me separate this. Use. There it is. Yeah, mounts middleware. Got it. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I feel like this should be up above then, because that's confusing. It's almost the same thing as set. And I don't care about pug, because now I actually understand what we're doing. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. I'm gonna rename some of these comments because they're not clear. Set set view engine it's not just a template library. Primarily, we want our comment to say that we're setting the view engine in our application settings. And obviously, the view engine is going to be our template library if we understand that much. What are we going to do here? Yeah, set static a static path. Call middleware set static path for middleware. I'll just say that much. Body parser middleware. Yeah. A path for static files. What was some of the examples it gave? Images, CSS. CSS doesn't have to be static. And what I'm going to do is actually include this here. And template engine, we're going to include that here. I don't need that. Body, I don't know what that does yet. I don't really need this. I'm going to move this back. Can we rename it? EJS, you're my best friend. Go back. Okay. Going to. It's just kind of confusing. Node template engine. We're gonna stick with EJS. Good. So, okay. Now that we did a bit of learning, we know what to do. Set app view engine. So this is going to be our views path. And how did we set the path? I don't recall. Path.join. I want to see this node package match. Node path package. Probably comes with it by default. The path module provides utilities for working. I'm gonna call modules packages because that's how they're referred to when you install them. The path module provides utilities for working with file and directory paths. What kind of utilities? Okay. So that comes by default. Did I do that right? Yeah. So it seems like I should just add it. Can I add snippets in Atom? Oh, I lost all my snippets from Sublime. Well. There we go, snippets. Your snippets. Atom snippets allow you to enter a simple prefix in the editor. Yep. Snip. Oh, cool. That's much better than Sublime Text. Do I have to name it? Yeah. I wish I could specify Express, because I only want to do this in Express. So what I'm going to do is create just a snippet to include all this for Express, because this is kind of the default require path. I don't have to remember that. Snippet name will be Oh, I see. Let's just do Express. Oh, that's the name of it. Setup Express requires no modules. Prefix good question. Setup Express. How about that? And now can I do this? Tell me I can do this. Require, let me just copy and paste it all. Setup Express. Aha! Oop, tab. Ah, I messed up. No. If you can do that, alright. And hit tab to expand it. So maybe I should just type it out. Setup Express. It's not working. Oh, yeah, that's right. And it is a JS file. Test. Let me just do Express. Will that work? I certainly hope so. Why? You're confusing me, you really are. Do I have to Control T? Control Tab? Alright, let's just start with the basics. Test. Okay. Yeah, it's not working at all. I don't get it. This file uses CoffeeScript notation. You kind of explain it, it's just not working. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, it works in this file, but nowhere else. Source.js, snippet name. body console.log. I want to make my own snippets. So that's pretty cool, but what if there was, yeah, I know. There's a text file in your atom called snippets.c. Yeah, that's what it does. You can also open that file. Yeah, I did all that. Oh, that's interesting. Sure, let's do that. I like that. That's kind of like the PHP EOT, which allows multi-line strings. Yeah, there's a snippet to create snippets. Whoa, crazy. Well, that's cool. You can create multiple snippets per source. Setup. Let's just go setup. And maybe I can copy that all over again. Will this work now? Oh, how I wish it did. Am I doing this wrong? Oh well. At least I have it saved. Now we're going to set our static path, app.use. Oh, that's right, we included path. So path dot, I don't think I need to join anything. I guess I will though. Our name, views. Repetition's good, it helps you remember. Path.join, views, good. I did that. And app.use express static, right? And I think we are doing the directory name again and client. So express handles this, but right here we just want the path. Ooh, hold on. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say we have to do this. Okay, let's check. Yes. Yep, see? It's good to know that stuff by heart, so we know what we're doing. So now we have our static path. App view engine set path for static files. CSS, images, etc. Default page. We are not going to do this anymore. We are grown-ups now. We're going to do this and spell it right. Okay. We're not going to do this either. Result render. No, I'm sorry. We don't need to render. Welcome to notes. Okay, so getting to the point where we can start actually replicating this. Okay, node index. Cannot get about. That's okay. We don't need a welcome to notes. Okay, we're getting to the point where we actually understand what we're doing. If you're following along, I know I did not talk much, just did a lot of reading, a lot of reasoning. So we can set our view engine by doing this. I know that's self-explanatory, but what app.set does is it sets these settings to the app class. And if you just view it as a class or one big object, you're setting these properties that you can access later. And you kind of access them in context-sensitive areas. It's hard to say when this applies. Like, for example, do I take views here and it will return the path? Maybe, let's try that. Does that work? Nope, see? So, when a method is accessing the app settings and you pass in this key, this name, it's going to use that as a value. So for in this instance, we're going to assign our path, targeting our views directory, to our views property in the app settings. The view engine property is expected by the app, and it's kind of it's like a special property that the app does use for our view engine, which we're going to be using EJS. And we have EJS included here. We are also... No, I already added it. Yep. And we are setting our static path. So app.use uses the paths, or uses this as middleware content. So if we try to request static files, we're going to use the express static method and the path join to get our path. It comes with Node, so you might as well just require it. You don't have to install it. It's very useful. It allows you to access your computer's directories. And we're going to be listening for the client folder. Okay. Now, what do we have here? Notes. So now let's get started. App.route. Get function. Don't need the function really. So we're going to render our notes page. And eventually we're going to learn how to set up Mongo as well. Cannot get notes. Yeah, I know why. Notes. And there's nothing in that file. Let's copy over some of that HTML now. So this is our Meteor.js. in our Meteor.js project folder. This is the main.html file. Let's do some HTML setup. I don't think we need this. Don't need any of this. We should, but we don't. Note manager. Just make sure that's working. Good. Now what can we do? I think EJS template in engine. I want to learn how to. I want to know how to do eaches, like a. I know it'd be something like this. Oh no, it's just regular JavaScript. I'm sorry. That's right. Yeah, I think it's similar to that. Documentation. That's what we did in the Meteor example. Use browser support. For control flow, no output, a white space. Outputs the value. Outputs the value into a template. Comment tag. Here we go. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. That's what we wanted to do. Just a quick reference. Doesn't hurt. That's what I like about it. It's consistent. It doesn't change for the opening or ending tags. For each, I'm not sure how we're going to do this. For each, yeah, I know how we're doing it now. For each notes as note, right? We're going to do a list item. Like I said, our class to list item. And we're going to do equals note text, because in our Meteor app, in our Mongo collection, we set our objects to contain a text item, as seen here, text, and some other properties like a created on and added by the user. And I'm just going to do this again because I don't know how this will work with Express. I'm going to add the ID. I don't think being in quotation marks should affect that. Hopefully it's like PHP, it doesn't matter. Okay. So this is going to expect an array of objects. Note manager, so let's pass in that now. Notes. Text. Note number 1. And I'm going to have to add an ID since I'm doing this now. Let's do 0. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and we'll do the 2, 3 here. Okay, for each notes, it's going to add it to the thing. Missing after arguments. Missing, oops, what did I do? Okay, this is PHP, I'm sorry, for note of notes. I think that's how it works. So that's why I'm stepping away from PHP. It works. That's satisfying. That's beautiful. Is my ID ad? Yep. Oh, I'm happy about that. I love knowing what I'm doing. Oh my goodness, so satisfying. Alright, that's some good progress. I think I'm going to take a break actually. So recap, what did we learn? Well, hopefully you're a new coder was watching this, or maybe you already got started and you're getting into Express as well. I don't know much. I'm still learning. So we learned that this is your fundamental startup setup with Express. You need Express to do anything. You want to, as far as our standards goes, you should require Express into Express constant and then instantiate your Express instance into the app constant. And I just do it. If you're having problems doing it, it's a standard. That's what we're going to do. You can name it whatever you want, but it's good to follow what everyone's doing, which I'm learning to do. You do want to set your view engine if you're going to be doing templates, which you should want to do as well. There's a lot of benefit to it. You can choose any one you want. I just started with EJS. I like it. It's kind of like HTML. It's consistent. These have the consistent syntax for the first tag and the ending tag, as well as the opening tag and closing tag. It makes sense too, though it's logical with the equal sign assigning values, and we'll see how it works with more advanced stuff. We learned how each of these methods work. So our set method is going to assign our, let's not say app, okay, let's ignore app. It's going to set our Express settings, and some of these settings are expected by Express, like the view engine Express uses to store our chosen view engine. But you can set any number of properties or settings, and so you can assign folder locations under a key name for views, and then we use our path package. I'm gonna call it a package because that's what it is. It's as far as JavaScript is concerned, it's a module, but as far as the server is concerned, it's a package. And it's going to, we're going to use the path join to join these two values together, and the directory name is going to be up to Express, and then it's just going to add this onto the end. So it's kind of like a string concatenate. And then use is used to assign some middleware paths. I don't know too much more than that about middlewares, but we took a look at Express static, which is used to assign a directory for serving static files like CSS and images, and we took a look at what that looks like. So you can access your static files from here just by typing that into the URL, which is different from a route. So it's kind of like you're setting your route for static files. So, or it's more by dynamic route, because a router will only load files with this specific. So this specifically shows up in the URL, but it looks like you can access all of your files, however, even under subdirectories, just from this path, which is cool. So the use method is used to set up middleware, And once we get set up with our view engine and create our directory to listen for files, we can then either set up our route using just the get method, or we can use our route method to assign a route, and then we don't need to pass in that parameter with the get method. If we understand how our get method works, it's not a regular get request like in plain JavaScript or Ajax. I think I saw it uses what did it say? Do I still have it up? I don't think I do. It uses the path returned from here. So it's automatically going to look in your view engine path. Let me see if I can get it. Here it is. Why are there two? Returns the value of name app setting. That's right. Where name is one of the strings. For example, if we... Yeah, I think we did a test. So undefined, we set it, my site, get title equals my site. So what get is doing is grabbing our most recently set actually we're passing in a function into get, and it looks like we're rendering some data. So the render method, probably I should look that up next as well, but we know it's targeting our file, and that file name is being used with this path up here and here, and get is going to return the rendered information however it handles that, and it's going to pass in the properties we send to it using this object here, and it renders the page when this router shows up. Yeah, good progress. We still haven't learned why you can get rid of this and it'll still load. I think it's because these are the default file names created by Meteor, and so it just automatically pulls them in, kind of like an index file. I think that's what's going on. And we learned I have to use strict mode for my other project when I'm assigning these. And yeah, good stuff. I think next time I will continue with building this up. I'm just happy that worked, and maybe I'll play with it later just to keep it fresh in my mind as well. Alright, see you next time.